So I had a few things I wanted to say before we get started. If you're just looking strictly for the training content, go ahead and skip ahead. Um, I'm making this series for my brother. He wants to train his dog to do a trained retrieve, and I'm using my dog, Murphy, as an example because that's something I haven't taught him yet. Um, I have no experience in film editing. Everything's going to be taken essentially in one, whatever you call that, one shot. If I do have to edit anything, the only editing software I have access to, I have a TikTok account, so I'm probably going to plug it into their system and then pull it out and throw it on here. So sorry if there's a watermark on anything. I'm not a professional. Um, there are many methods to teach any given action you're looking for, but there are very few principles. If you understand the principles, you can pick and choose the methods that you want to accomplish what you're trying to do. I'm just going to show you the things that have worked for me. I've trained 2 hunting dogs on my own. This is the way I went about teaching it, and it has worked for me. Now, yesterday, I did day 2 of hold conditioning with Murphy, and I'm doing hold conditioning to lead to a formal retrieve. I am following the method. There's a great video called back chaining the retrieve. There's a great video on it by Michael Ellis here on YouTube. Highly recommend watching it. His film editing is a lot better than mine, and he's a professional trainer, so check him out. Essentially, I want to start at the finished product and move forward. That's the concept in a nutshell. Highly recommend checking out that video. I trained day 2 hold conditioning for Murphy, and I applied much more pressure looking back and rewatching the video than I should have. I made that same mistake with my first dog. I'm impulsive and I rush through things. If you send your dog to a professional trainer, they're trying to get results really quick. They are likely, if you're doing a formal retrieve, they're going to go through a process called forced fetch. The process I'm doing is a form of forced fetch, but we're doing it without pain. And I'm trying to do a lot of positive reinforcement. There are some corrections, which by default or by description would be a correction would be a negative reinforcer, but we're not doing corporal punishment or creating pain for these dogs. It's not the way I do it. Went too fast with Murphy, so I've decided for the next 2 days I'm going to try and be very heavy on the positive reinforcement, slow down, and if he doesn't make a lot of progress on his own, trying it that way, then I will move into applying more pressure and no longer requesting he do what I want to do. We'll start enforcing it. But here's day 2. I'm going to post day 3 shortly after. So a couple things I forgot to mention yesterday leading up to teaching a more formal fetch. For one, if your dog picks up something, do not chase your dog. You're teaching them to play keep away from you. Try your best to call the dog over to you. If you need to trade them for something enjoyable to them, like a toy of some kind, that's better. Also, you're going to need a release word. I like to use the word out. Some people say drop or give, release. Pick a word, stick with it. I'm going to start off with doing a little bit of shaping on the trained commands we've worked on leading up to hold. And then we're going to do day 2 of hold. We may make no progress at all. We may end up where we left off yesterday, and that's okay. Or we could end up with Murphy actually holding the bumper by himself today. We'll see how far he gets, but I'll need to know my release word in order to move forward. Murph. Good boy. Heel. Yes. At some point, Murph. No, sir. Heel. More distractions. I'm traveling this weekend, so I'm in my in-laws' front yard. So it's a great example of how the dogs can get really distracted really easy. And you got to work through that. It makes your dog more competent and sure of themselves. Good boy. Break. Sit. Down. And you notice there, down. Yes. I didn't reward the SIT command I gave. Sit. Oh, you can't really see the dog, I'm sorry. I'm starting to alternate rewards. They won't get rewarded for every single action. Eventually we can phase out, we can phase out treats on every command, and later on you can actually have a toy be a reward. I do that a lot with Ranger. Praise can be a reward too. Anyway, we'll get started now. Murph, place. Okay. Good boy. See if he remembers the word. Oh. Yes, good boy. So from here we're going to just start shaping. Right now he's more than willing to put it in his mouth. I want him to actually start holding it for me. Murph. Hold. No pause. Murph. Hold. Hold. Yes, good boy. Murph. Hold. Murph. Hold. Hold. Yes. Good boy. Hold. No. Sit. Yes. Hold. Hold. Break. Now, he's showing us a great example of why I do not teach tricks to my dogs until well after. No. Place. Yes. I don't teach tricks to my dogs until well after they've understood their obedience commands. If you notice, he's really pawing at this, and if I had taught my dog to shake, it's going to really increase that behavior. The reason is they know that that gets them treats in the past, so they're going to try whatever they can do to get rewarded, and it can become really annoying for you when you're trying to teach new things when they're cycling through sit down, shake, roll over, and dead, trying to get your attention. Murphy. Hold. Murphy. Hold. Yes, good boy. Sit. Hold. I'm going to try and direct him. It's seeming like he really doesn't like that. Hold. Good boy. Hold. Yes. This is what I was talking about, how it's a lot of pressure for a dog. Hold. If you don't want to play the game, we're going to be done. No. Hold. Hold. So I'm going to hold it in his mouth for him, giving that command. Hold. Good boy. Make sure. Yes. Make sure you have a hand under their chin because they will absolutely drop it for you. And that's just counterproductive for you. Murphy, sit. Good boy. Hold. No. Hold. Hold. Yes. Good dog. I'm going to give him a bigger reward there. He actually held pretty still for me. He's not yet holding the bumper on his own. I don't think we're going to get there today. Murphy, hold. Hold. Good boy. Yes. I'm going to see if I can get a voluntary mouth on the bumper. Murphy. Murphy. Sit. Hold. Like it's not going to happen. Hold. Good boy. Hold. Hold. Yes. Hold. Murphy. Murphy. Hold. Okay. We're going to call it quits right there. He's dipping his head down a lot. Those are early signs of stress. Also, if they're looking away from you, I made those mistakes with my first hunting dog I was training. We'll try again later this evening. Hold. Yeah, we're done here. I'm not teaching him anything. If anything, I'm going to make him not want to put this in his mouth. So we're going to call it quits. They don't always end on a positive note. Break. But you'll get there.